In this video, I will go over the current history of top players in Geometry Dash in chronological order, according to their ability to grind out the hardest levels in the game. If you enjoy the video, consider subscribing as most of my viewers aren't. Enjoy the video! Back when Geometry Dash had a small community and wasn't all that present on YouTube, people didn't really care much for who was the best player, and for this reason there weren't as many people trying to make or beat the insanely difficult levels we see today. Later on though, level completions would become more common for dashers to upload to their YouTube channels, and players like Alex Payne were able to show off how skilled they were at the game, at least supposedly. In 1.9, levels like Cataclysm and Ice Carbon Diablo X would inspire more players to rise to the insane skill we now take for granted, and some players from this era would become legends in the community. As I said before, Alex Payne was one of the many players who rose through the ranks in the 1.9 era, along with others who were insanely skilled such as Red Universe, Zobros, and Andromeda. But despite their skill, they were overshadowed by the game's two giants, Riot and Cyclic, who reigned supreme throughout most of the update. Andromeda's position as a top player also fell when he confessed to hacking after many months of suspicion. Riot and Cyclic began sweeping through dozens of insane and extreme demons after that, seeming unstoppable to their growing audiences, with some more notable accomplishments being Deadly Club Zep, Cataclysm, and Ice Carbon Diablo X. Eventually these two decided they needed to push the limit of what was humanly possible and began building their own demons, which were each meant to be top 1 difficulty when verified. Riot verified his project Bloodbath after a few months, quite a leap from the former number 1. Cyclic's project, on the other hand, was a slightly larger skill jump, and the community became suspicious of him being able to verify such a difficult level so quickly. The allegations became too much for him, and he confessed to hacking all of his major achievements, quitting the game and deleting all traces of himself soon after. The playing field in 2.0 was different than it was in 1.9, with 144Hz monitors now being standard for top players after the race to beat Bloodbath. Also, many of the top players from the Golden Age had quit. For a while, Riot continued to reign supreme with no one for competition. However, though he tried his hand at verifying many top 1s, he eventually quit due to finger pains, leaving the door open for players such as Blast CFV and Popball to grind out the demon list and rise to prominence. Eventually, a player you may have heard of, Sunix, was finally able to verify Sonic Wave and became the undisputed top player for much of the remainder of 2.0. However, he eventually began to tire of the game, and though he continued to beat and verify top 1s, it's debatable whether he was still the best player in the game. Soon after, he would quit the game entirely, allowing his rival Wushi to fill his shoes for a time. Wushi was the top player for a while, verifying top 1 demon Crimson Planet and even making progress on Tartarus, but was replaced by Technical, the first person to legitimately beat Zodiac. Throughout his reign, he beat many list demons and took on several verification projects. But although he still plays the game on his YouTube channel to this day, he was eventually outclassed by other players, including nswish. Nswish was an absolute beast at the game, but for a long time the demon list's rule against FPS bypass made his records illegitimate. But eventually he would get his progress on it, and quickly ascended to number 1 on the stats viewer. His most notable verification project was the Golden, a green and gold level that was number 1 for a while, before being swapped back with Tartarus. Like many before him, nswish grinded out extreme demons, but he was able to make history by completing the entire main list, the 75 hardest rated levels in the game. His interest in the game would decline after this, however, and though I'm not sure if he's officially quit the game, he hasn't uploaded in a while, allowing other players to surpass him. One of these players is RG, someone who quickly rose up the stats viewer and, despite an incident that almost left him unable to play Geometry Dash, overcame nswish and took the number 1 spot, which was soon lost to Space UK. It's unclear which of these two will hold on to this position, or if it will even be one of them. There are at least a dozen active top players who might just have the potential to go all the way. Anyway, that's my incomplete history of top players in Geometry Dash. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing as it helps out my channel. Thanks for watching.